Hello, here we are. I am so excited to be here with you today. I'm Jennifer Senn. I am a coach stillbirth moms. I am a stillbirth mom myself. 24 years ago, I had twin girls who were stillborn at 32 weeks. My whole purpose in life since then has been about helping people find life again after stillbirth because very often you feel like you have gotten over it or that you've moved on. But what I've learned and what I know to be true with so many people that I've worked with and that I have come in contact with throughout this whole lifelong journey is that it never leaves you. It really never leaves you. It just changes. And it's always there somewhere in your life. It shows up in how you parent your children. It shows up in how you do everything in life. It shows up in your relationships, your work life. And so I think it's really important to help people learn some skills and some strategies that you can use that will help you get through these rocky periods that keep coming up when your grief wants to show back up. And so that's what I teach. That's how I help people. And it is an amazing mission, and I love it. So I want to talk to you here today about the challenging question that so many of us, all of us, get asked at some point. How many children do you have? And it seems like such a simple question. Very likely we've asked someone that ourselves without even thinking about what the implications are. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. I want to give you some ideas of how you can answer it. It's one of the most talked about topics that I deal with in my coaching practice. So I really want to give you some great things to walk away with this from today and help you with this question that is more than likely going to show up in your life. So, why is it question so challenging? It is so it's just such a complex question and it takes you by surprise. So, it's one of those times where you have to really think on your feet. How am I going to answer this question? How is it going to be the right thing? There's so many people to consider when answering this question, right? It's considering your feelings, how it's going to make you feel to say what you need to say to answer this question, the feelings of the person who has asked the question, what might they think? And then also, what implications does it have either to your living children, if you have some, or your future children, or the baby that you lost? What does it mean if you either include them or exclude them? There's so many things that go into this simple question. And so if you have done it and you feel really strange about it, it's okay. Like it's not easy and it is a very sensitive answer. And it's one that you have to very often just pull out of the air. So when you think about that question and someone asking you that, there's so many things that I think go into this. Number one, who is asking you this question? Do they deserve to know the whole story? Do they deserve to know just the bare details? Do they deserve to know nothing? It's very possible that there's different people that you might share all of your story with, and there's people that you just don't, it's just not worth the details. But it is very emotional and it's very hard to think about what do you want to say? What can I say to this person? Or how do I address the person standing right in front of me? What do they deserve to know? And what is maybe like the least invasive answer that you can give without going into details. Maybe you don't feel like going into details, and it's okay. I want you to know that there's no single right answer. There's no right or wrong. There are there is not a single thing that I can say, "Here's what you say. This is exactly how you say it, and here's what you can say." Because as we know, there are 1,000 ways that this question is presented to you. There's 1,000 situations. Are people standing around? Is it in a group? Is it just one to one? All of these factors might determine how you're going to answer this question. And what I want to say to you is they're all right. They're all right. However you handle it is right. The biggest thing that gets moms hung up on answering this question is, will it seem disloyal maybe to my baby if I don't include them? If I only include maybe the 2 living children that I have, and I just don't even broach the topic, does it mean that, I've forgotten my baby? Or does it mean that I'm a bad mother because I didn't include that baby when I was answering this question? The answer is no. The answer is no. You know your truth. You know the children that you are a mother to. Not everybody gets to know that, and it's really okay. If you decide in the moment that I'm just gonna say with the living children that I have right now, it's okay. And it's also really okay to say, I have 2 living children and 1 in heaven. I have 2 living children and 1 that's looking over us all the time. I have 2 living children and 1 that's in my heart. It's really okay to say that too, because what I would love for society, I don't know if you've noticed, but society in general, when you're out in the wild, there are no trigger warnings. And so we don't have to protect their feelings. They're certainly not willing to protect ours lots of times with the things they say and the questions they ask. So it's really okay to go ahead and make someone uncomfortable if you think that might be it too, just to speak your truth. So I want you to hear that. If you need to speak your truth, what is true for you, what your real family looks like, what terrible, tragic things you've had to go through to be standing in front of this person right now, it's okay to make them uncomfortable for a minute. There's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad way to do it. However you choose to do it in that moment is the right way. Some ways to do it are to be honest and direct. I had a baby, but we lost him at birth. I'm a mom to a baby who didn't quite make it earthside. However, there's a million creative ways that you can put it. Maybe even practice a few just to see what comes out naturally, what flows, what feels good to say when you get approached with this question. You can answer just a brief answer, and then if the person is someone maybe that you're spending a little more time with or that you want to get to know a little better, then you get to have the option to elaborate on it. That I will tell you that is probably that's probably been my go-to. I will because I already had 2 boys when my loss occurred. So it was very easy for me just to say, "Oh, I have 2 boys." But then after I got to know someone and I felt like I wanted to share with them and maybe I don't know, there's a little feeling of coming clean about it, but I it's just really because I care about that person. I felt like it was someone that I wanted in more in my world than I could share. Actually, I did have twin girls, and we lost them at 32 weeks, and you can do that. You certainly can do that with the people that you maybe are getting to know better or have a different relationship. So that style, just a really brief answer. and then being able to elaborate a little bit more afterwards. Another way is redirecting the conversation. You can choose not to answer at all. You get to choose that. You get to choose I I don't share my personal details. You can even say we'd like to have children one day. There's so many possibilities of redirecting the conversation. We'd like to have children someday. It just hasn't happened yet. Again, it always goes back to who are you sharing this with? Do they deserve to know your truth? Do they deserve to have this piece of your heart that you are willing to share with them? When you're thinking about this, and unfortunately, you're so often in the moment that you don't get a lot of time to think about it ahead of time. But just take a little breath a deep breath before you answer and just evaluate. What is my personal comfort level with this person? Do I feel comfortable sharing this? What kind of an answer do I want to give this person? And then make your choice according to that. You can consider the relationship with the person that you're asking. Is it someone that you're just in the elevator with versus maybe a new work colleague or someone that your husband works with or hairstylist, someone that you might see more often? What is your relationship with them? What do you want them to know about this? And like I mentioned before, the setting, the context of the conversation. Are you in the elevator? Are you in a crowded room? Are you sitting in a coffee shop one on one? Where are you when this is happening? And how do you feel? But be willing to just take a minute, take your time answering it, take a deep breath, and know that you get to choose what people know about you and about your baby and what you've gone through. This is something that is such a big topic with my clients is I said that I didn't have any kids and now I feel so guilty. I feel like I'm discounting my baby, like I was being disloyal and like I've forgotten them. There's all of these things that come up. I have a kind of a mantra that I love to live by, and it's I did the best for what I knew at the time. I did the best for where I was at that moment. And I think that's so true with so many areas of our life. We make the best choice according to where we are right then and there. And that's the best we can do. That is all you can do sometimes. Give yourself some grace. This is not something you can plan ahead for. It's something that's going to happen over and over in different scenarios all the time. Be gentle with yourself. I can guarantee you 24 years later, you're never going to forget that baby. And if you don't share 100% transparency with everyone you meet, it does not mean that your baby was any less valid. So just be gentle with yourself, no matter how it happened, no matter how you felt about your answer or the conversation. Give yourself some grace. Take another deep breath. Just tell yourself, I did the best for what I knew at that moment. And I can always go back and change it. I can change it the next time. Every time will be different because it will. Every time will be different. Something that would be a great conversation to have with those in your life about asking people those kinds of questions. I don't know about you. It was one of those questions I quit asking people. How many kids do you have? I'm a hairstylist by trade. I spent years asking people about their personal lives and finding out more about them because that's really part of the business is making someone feel really great inside as you're doing it outside. And it's just a question that I know it it really is just a point of conversation for so many, and people don't understand how heavy that question can be when you're a lost mom. Educate those in your circle. Let them know that this is sometimes a really hard question for people, and maybe you can ask different questions to them. Maybe not anything about children at all. Maybe it's more about them themselves. Like, how do you spend your time? What do you like to do? If they have children, they're going to say, oh my gosh, I have 3 kids. Are you kidding? I'm always cooking and cleaning. So that might be a better way to approach some conversations and small talk. What we think is just plain old small talk. Focus it more on the person versus what they have, what are they doing? Ask them what do they like to do. I think that would be really more helpful for people to know. And then it's not just us, it could also be really beneficial for maybe someone who's just lost their husband after 70 years, or maybe someone who has lost an adult child who has been sick or had something happen. I just think those are always great things to keep in mind, and unfortunately, we learn these things as you're going through these situations. You learn so much about how to treat other people too. I just want you to know that however you answer it is the right way. Look at your situation. Look at who you're speaking to. Decide whether or not they get to know. How much do they get to know? Do they get to know everything? And maybe have a couple responses already ready that you feel comfortable with. If someone was going to ask me this right now, here's how I would say it. And give yourself a couple alternatives. Be ready because it's coming. Society is not kind to you. So be ready for it. Have a couple responses that feel good. Try them out. If it doesn't feel good, don't beat yourself up. It doesn't mean a single thing. It doesn't invalidate any of your feelings or anything about your baby. It just means that it just was a strange situation. You just got caught and you answered in an odd way that maybe just needed to happen. And when we educate others about our lost babies, they very often makes them uncomfortable for a minute, but sometimes that's exactly what they need too. The reality that they need to be brought about to know that not everything is sunshine and roses every single day. So, with that, I just want you to know I am here for you. I see you. I hear you. I know this path is long and hard. And there are so many things that can get in your way, but you have everything you need inside of you to get through this. And I am here to support you. If you really need help, schedule a call with me. Don't struggle. Don't sit by yourself. I offer a free support session. I swear, everyone I've ever done it with, they bring their biggest question, their hardest struggle. We can work through it. I can give you some ideas and some strategies of how to think or do something a little differently. And you come out of that just 30-minute phone call feeling so much better and easier to breathe. So please don't hesitate. Go ahead and get on my calendar. It is completely free, no obligation at all. Truly just want to help you in any way I can. All right. Have an amazing day. I will see you when I am back and relaxed from sunny California. Have a great week.